Okay, so we have written a book, printed a book, published a book, it's there. Now we need to market a book. Now, the thing with Random is that it's not your usual book. In fact, somebody, Alice Sherwood, has been so kind as to say that we've reinvented the book, although I think that might be a bit grandiose. It certainly makes sense intellectually, but doesn't really make sense until you have it in your hands and you're able to start playing with the sheer loveliness of what is 120 stories, unbound, with beautiful imagery, and a whole load of rabbit warren stuff that you can get into as well. So to market the book, we need to do something a bit different, and probably also both lean into some randomness, but also lean into some of the things that I've done before, running slightly odd projects on the internet, like Coffee Rorschach and like 100 Coffees. In fact, this will be the first one for a while that isn't coffee based. Or maybe it will be. Here's the idea. What we're going to do is we're going to create a list of 50 people that we think would both enjoy the book, find it curious, and also might have some modicum of influence, so that if they're talking about the book, then others might be made even more curious about it. We'll crowdsource that list. We started the book 2.5 years ago by saying, what are the random subjects we should cover? Who are the random people that we should get this book into the hands of? And what we will then do is attempt to meet up with these people, with their blessing. I'm not just going to stalk people. And we will introduce them to the book, get it into their hands to see what they make of it. And what we will do to do that is find degrees of connection. Now, my theory is that whilst we have great databases now of supposed connections with things like LinkedIn, I'm not convinced that the links on LinkedIn are as strong as LinkedIn would like you to believe. Give you an example of that, bit of a metaphor, bit of a thought experiment. Some years ago, I was doing lots of work around collaboration, and I used this story to get people to think about different strengths of connections. Imagine, if you will, that you've just found out that aliens are going to invade the planet, and you're the only person who knows, and you need to let the Prime Minister know as soon as possible so the Prime Minister can do something to save the world. It's an outlandish thought experiment, don't get me wrong. So if you were to take the official channels, you'd phone up the reception of number 10 Downing Street and probably be added to the long list of cranks and weirdos they get calling up every day to say things like aliens are invading the planet, or have already invaded the planet, or are lizards, or whatever. That wouldn't get you very far. A really strong connection would be somebody who could have a word with the Prime Minister, who the Prime Minister, assuming we know who the Prime Minister is, that's another story, but the Prime Minister would trust enough that they wouldn't just immediately refute this somewhat crazy idea that the world is about to be invaded by aliens. So you need to find somebody that they trust, has credibility, is willing to put some of their credibility into telling them something somewhat outlandish. And so that might be a family member rather than the Deputy Prime Minister or the Chancellor of the Exchequer. It might be somebody that they went to school with rather than a senior civil servant, although it might be a senior civil servant, who knows. That idea about being able to find people who are the right type of influence to be able to reach the people that you need to get to is underpinning this experiment that we're going to do over the next, I don't know, few months, we'll see. So step one, we need a list of people that we should get this book into the hands of because we think that they might like it and therefore might be able to spread the word a bit. Let me know. You can direct message me, you can leave messages beneath this, you can send me an email, you can phone me up, whatever floats your boat. Bonus points if you already can think of somebody who can get us one step closer to that person so that we can try to be able to see if we can see them, say hello, and let them have a play with Random so they can see what this beautiful object is all about.